What's your syllabus sound like? In this video, we'll look at using the JAWS screen reader on a syllabus to see the difference between a syllabus that hasn't been formatted and one that has.
Stephanie Pratt, Math 254 Essential Mathematics, second.
So I'm not going to have it read the entire line. I have tested it. It will read that entire first line. So I'm going to jump and show some specific items in here first.
Stephanie Pratt, contacted from office :7, phone :left, email, class website, blank, course material.
So what I want to point out is in my contact information, because I actually put my office hours over on the right side, and I believe I had tabbed it, or maybe I used spaces, I can't remember. It's not even reading the office hours when the student is jumping through the syllabus here. They'd have to literally read every word on the right to read the office hours. For instance,
Office :712 office hours (2:55 p.m. at -6:30 p.m.
So also notice, even though I let it read through that line, and it did read the office hours this time, it didn't read my or by appointment because I had made that on a separate line. So even though my formatting looks fine and I think, hey, they can tell where everything's at, that or by appointment would be read in with my phone number line. So that's an issue there. And then going further down,
blank, we cover chapter 6 at blank, graphic equations.dsmt4 graphic.
So what we notice here is, even though I see exam 1, chapter 6% coming up first, it's reading this weird graphic I have that I wanted to use to the little squiggly bracket to show the one exam is 2 chapters. So again, visually to me it looks fine, but when it goes to read it, it's having some issues reading that portion. So another thing I wanted to point out is when you put enters and 2 instead of, you can actually, I'll show how to do paragraph changes. So this one has
blank, schedule colon.
So you can tell if they're trying to jump through, it's just blank, 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 blank. Again, kind of be annoying here. So they have a button on JAWS that if you hit it,
heading list dialog.
The heading list comes up, and so it all comes up for them to look at. And you can move to different headings. The level 1 heading.
Level 1 headings radio button checked, 2 of 7.
Level 2 headings.
Level 2 headings radio button checked, 3 of 7. To change the selection.
So my level heading 1, I think I accidentally deleted it, but the level heading 2s are all coming up, and so notice they can actually...
Headings list view, contact info, office hours, course material, learning outcomes.
So what's great about what you're seeing here is they can toggle through all of the headings, and they also can do an outline view where they can toggle through the headings as well. Oh, there we go. So in this, if they have it in outline view, they can hit a button to actually show just all the heading 2s.
Alt-Shift-3.
And then they can actually change it where they can hit the heading 3s.
Page, heading level 2 participation.
And then jump through that way, or even just look at it in a much easier way. This would be useful for basically anyone. But if we go back to the original syllabus we had, if I try to use those same keys,
headings list view,
you can see here it's only giving one heading. There's no toggling, there's no list, there's nothing to jump through. So they literally have to just keep down arrow, down arrow, down arrow to get to everything. So that's why the headings are so important.
So let's look and see how JAWS would read this table. And so I had created this long ago with no accessibility in mind because I didn't know. But if I were to have JAWS read this table,
Table 1, uniform table, Tuesday, row 1 of 10, 9/1, row 2 of 10, end row 1.9/8, row 3 of 10.
so the things to notice are if I'm working JAWS down linearly, it's skipping a week, it's not reading the Tuesday. I have my second semester over here on the right side, but there's no way to designate, oh, this is where the
Table 1, Uniform table 11/3 4.1 4.
That this will be actually the second half of the semester. It's just you have to know exactly where to jump on the table, which the student with the screen reader, unless you instructed them, would not know to do so. And so this is not necessarily fully accessible, although it does look nice. And so think linearly, like up, down, top, bottom. And I'll try to get a template out for at least a Word version. But ideally, I think myself, I would like to create a pacing calendar in Excel, especially since I could update dates automatically with a formula. But there's a whole heading thing there, and so I'm still working on that. There are videos out there for tables and everything for accessibility that you can check out. But this right now, if you're just trying to get something basic down, just if it's able to read top to bottom, then that's your at least basic accessibility being met.
This, that I put my Zoom URLs in as HTTPS and blah, blah, blah. But you can imagine what that's like for someone who's having to listen to this.
Edit level 3. Link https://convert.zoom.us/j/95.
Okay, I'm not even going to make us listen to all of that, but that can get quite annoying.